For loop and while loop both are entry control loop. Pre-tested loop means if condition will be true, then only the number of statements that you have written inside the looping statement it will execute. Otherwise, it will skip all the things. So when you want to check condition first, you will choose for loop and while loop. But still, there is difference between for loop and while loop. What is difference? If you know the number of iterations, means I have already given you some examples. Suppose you want to print table, suppose you want to print all even numbers between 1 to 100, 1 to 1000. Suppose you want to take attendance of all 60 students like that. Means number of iterations you know. If you want to print factorial of any number, you know how much time the loop will iterate. If you want to check number is prime or not, palindrome, at that time, not in palindrome, number is prime or not. At that time, you will choose for loop. But while loop, where you will choose? While loop, you can choose when you do not know the number of iterations. Means you want to check number is palindrome or not. So first you should reverse the number and the user will enter how much digit at run time you don't know. So how you will give condition? It works on condition only. If while number greater than equal to 0 or number not equal to 0 until and unless your loop will iterate. Next is do while loop. Do while loop is called exit control loop. Exit control loop means first it will print the statement, then it will check condition. So do while loop runs at least once. Either condition is true or false. If you want to print the statement at least once time, then you can choose do while loop directly. For example, let me relate this by real life example. ATM menu appears once before checking whether user wants another transaction or not. So, audience, can you think a real life example where something repeat continuously? Write it in comment. Next is continuing with for loop. Let's finally see a loop in action. For in I equal to 0, I less than 5 and I plus plus. This single line contains three parts. First is initialization. In I equal to 0, I declared one variable I integer type and initialize the value of I by 0. This is the starting point of your loop. Next is condition. Here I less than 5 means the loop will continue until it reaches 5. And next is I plus plus. I plus plus means I equal to I plus 1. Increase the value of I 1 by 1 after 1 every iteration. Means when it will print first iteration, then again it will iterate the value of, it will increment the value of I by 1. So you can imagine this by real life example. Imagine climbing a stairs. You start from a stair 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and when you reach at 5th, then you have to stop. And the output will come here. Obviously, here I have started from 0. So, iteration 0, iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, iteration 4. When the value of I will become 5, it will terminate. Okay. Can you tell me what will happen if I change in place of I less than 5 to I less than 10? How many times will the loop run? Comment your answer. Now, combining control structures. Now, we enter the real world of programming. Professional software rarely uses only one control structure. That is what nested loop. A loop inside another loop. Think about a classroom, rows and column of students. To visit every student, we need loops inside loops. First row, and in first row, obviously, multiple columns will be there, and second row, then third row, like that. If you have multiple conditions, if first condition will true, then second condition will also true, then only this condition, this statement will be print. Obviously, at that time, you will choose what? Nested of loop. Nested if loop. If. So imagine you are searching for your friend in a crowd. The moment you find him, you stop searching. That's exactly what breaks does. And third is continuing a statement. Conditional exit is what? Break. Where we can use break? In if, with switch, case, etc. Skipping iterations. Suppose you are checking attendance and one student is absent and I have to check from 1 to 16. I'm going to tell each and every student roll number, right? And if any student will be absent at that time, I have to skip this. So instead of stopping the process, what I will do? I will skip that student and continue. So continue keyword is used for a skipping iteration. So this combination of loops, conditions break the continue is what powers games, website, mobile apps, and enterprise softwares works. So today we learned how program control their flow. We learned sequence structure, selection structure, if, else, else if ladder, switch case, as well as iterative statement loops, and total three types of loop: for loop, while loop, and do while loop, as well as termination, as well as continuing statement, continuing keyword, that is break and continue. These concepts may look simple, but they are the foundation of every software applications you use daily life. In the next video, we will solve real C++ programming example using these controller structures. If you found this lecture useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. See you in next class, students.